Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Conversational English Podcast. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Emma. It's wonderful to have you with us for another session of everyday English conversation.
You know, I'm still not over the weekend.
Really?
My team lost on Sunday. I was so sure they were going to win.
Oh no, Monday mornings can be a little difficult for football fans.
They really can. I walked into work this morning, and the first thing my colleague said was, "Bad weekend?"
That's when you know everyone saw the result.
Exactly.
And that's actually what we're talking about today. Football is one of the easiest ways to start a natural English conversation. Even if you don't know every player or every team, a few simple expressions can help you make friendly small talk at work, at school, or even while waiting for your coffee.
That's true. Sometimes people think they need lots of football vocabulary, but you really don't.
You only need a few useful expressions and the confidence to start the conversation. By the end of today's English listening practice, you'll know how to begin these everyday conversations naturally.
Before we continue,
And if you're enjoying learning everyday English with us, don't forget to like the episode and subscribe. That way you won't miss our next real English conversation.
Now, let's start with a phrase you'll hear all the time.
Imagine it's Monday morning. Your colleague walks into the office, and instead of saying, "Did you watch the football game?" they ask,
Did you catch the match?
"Exactly."
It sounds much more natural, doesn't it?
It does. "Did you catch the match" is relaxed and friendly. You're simply asking if someone watched the game. It doesn't matter if they watched every minute or just saw part of it.
So if someone asks me, "Did you catch the match?" they aren't asking if I literally caught something.
Definitely not.
Good. That would be a very different conversation.
It would.
So if I watched the game, I can simply say, "Yes, I did."
Or, "Yeah, I caught it."
That's nice and natural.
And if you didn't watch it?
You could say, "No, I missed it."
Exactly. Short, simple, and very common in everyday English conversation.
you know, this phrase actually helped me once.
Really?
A few years ago, I started working in a new office. I didn't know anyone, and everyone already seemed to have their own friends. On Monday morning, people were making coffee, and I felt a little nervous.
I think a lot of English learners know that feeling.
Yes, I wanted to say something, but I didn't know how to start.
So what happened?
I remembered there had been a big football match on Sunday. I looked at one of my colleagues and just asked, "Did you catch the match?"
That's such a simple question.
It really is. He smiled straight away and said, "Of course, what a game."
See? Suddenly you had something to talk about.
Exactly. We spoke for maybe 3 or 4 minutes. Nothing complicated. We talked about the match, our favorite teams, and then we went back to work.
And that's what makes small talk so useful. The goal isn't to have a long conversation. It's simply to be friendly and make a connection.
Looking back, I'm glad I asked that one little question.
And that's a good reminder for English learners too. Sometimes one simple sentence is enough to begin a real conversation.
Now, if the conversation continues, you'll probably start talking about the result.
Right. Maybe your team won.
Maybe they lost.
Or maybe...
It was a draw.
Exactly. It was a draw means neither team won. Both teams finished with the same score.
So if the match finished 1-1, I could simply say, "It was a draw"?
That's right. It's a very useful word because you'll hear it often when people talk about football.
And even if you're not a huge football fan, understanding that word helps you follow the conversation much more easily. And here's another expression people often use after an exciting match.
What a game!
I like that one because you can hear the excitement straight away.
Exactly. If a match was exciting, full of surprises, or had lots of goals, someone might simply say, "What a game!"
You don't have to explain everything.
That's right. Those 3 words already tell people you really enjoyed it.
Even if your team didn't win?
Yes, sometimes people still say, "What a game," because it was entertaining. even if they were a little disappointed with the result.
That's true. I wasn't happy my team lost, but honestly, it was still a great match.
There you go. That's exactly how people naturally talk.
Let's imagine a real situation.
It's Monday morning. 2 colleagues are making coffee before work starts.
Nothing formal, just a quick conversation.
Morning! Did you catch the match yesterday?
Yeah, I did. It was a draw.
What a game! I thought someone would score right at the end.
I thought so too. It kept getting more exciting.
So, who do you support?
I support Arsenal.
Nice. My brother supports Arsenal too. He's probably talking about the match all day today.
That sounds about right.
Well, let's hope next weekend is even better.
I hope so.
And that's it. Just a short, friendly conversation.
Exactly. That's what real small talk often sounds like. You don't need a 10-minute discussion. Sometimes one question leads to another, and before you know it, you've had a pleasant conversation.
That's why these expressions are so useful. They're simple, natural, and easy to remember. Now, it's your turn to join the conversation.
Imagine we've just met in a cafe.
So, who do you support?
Maybe you have a favorite football team.
Or maybe you don't watch football at all. Both answers are completely fine. You could say, I support Barcelona.
Or I support Chelsea.
Or even, I don't really follow football. That's a perfectly natural answer too. The important thing is that you're practicing real English conversation, the kind you'll actually hear in everyday life.
And remember, you don't have to be a football expert to join these conversations.
Exactly. If someone asks, did you catch the match? And you didn't watch it, just smile and say, no, I missed it.
Or you could say, I don't really watch sports.
That's completely natural. People will usually just change the topic, and that's perfectly normal. Sometimes the goal isn't talking about football. It's simply being friendly. Asking one small question can make starting a conversation much easier. Before we go, we'd love to hear from you. Who do you support? Or if football isn't your thing, tell us your favorite sport in the comments. It's a great way to practice your everyday English with learners from around the world. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us today. We hope you feel a little more confident starting small talk in English this week. Until next time, keep listening, keep speaking, and keep enjoying your English journey. Bye, everyone!